Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Old School Wrestling Review. And we are going to review World Championship Wrestling from Saturday, May 4th, 1985. A great year for professional wrestling. And our panel, as always, Rodney West and Jack Lord. Welcome to Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. We're talking World Championship Wrestling. We're going to talk, I think it was only an hour and a half the Braves was going to play on that particular night. I think that was back when the Braves were winning baseball games, if I'm correct. But 1985, a pretty good year for the Braves.
Yeah, I think so. That's probably about the last time I watched a game, as a matter of fact.
Okay, folks, are we ready? Let's talk World Championship Wrestling. The show started off with Dusty Rhodes against Tully Blanchard, baby doll at ringside, and Dusty Rhodes, in Dusty Rhodes fashion, gets whipped into the ropes, grabs a hold of the ropes, and does his little dance, and the people go crazy inside that at that arena. What did y'all think about that?
Typical Dusty. He knew how to work people into a frenzy with just the simplest things.
And just stood there and did his. That was tremendous. That was tremendous stuff. And then Rodney, we open up with David Crockett, not Davey, as I called him last episode. David Crockett and Tony Schiavone and Ric Flair, Magnum Ta out there together.
Yes. Started off with them going back and forth and talking about Flair talking about what a great champion he was, and this is what real champions look like, coming out here dressed in a suit like this while TA's standing over there with his $3 vest on. The thing that still, even back then, I always said that the United States Championship belt should have never looked in the same design, should not have the same frame as the world title. It diminished the world title, and no more was that evident, but then within this is an interview and the comparison. All the difference really was gold. That was about it. But yeah, tremendous. TA and Flair both tremendous in this and building up for, I'm sure, big matches coming up.
You know, it's funny because Flair was at the first. He was like, okay, I've got better things to do than be out here with Magnum TA. Good stuff. Ric Flair, always great. Made the show. Jack, next. Cowboy Ron Bass with J.J. Dillon against Gene Ligon.
This was a fantastic 2-minute match that lasted 12 minutes.
Boy, you're ever right. My goodness.
He won on
yeah. And of course, we all know the setup for the claw hold is to work the arm.
That is correct, apparently,
so,
yeah.
Oh man, I didn't like this match at all. This thing went way too long, and well, at least during the match, they did tell us some information. They did tell us that Ole and Arn Anderson were the new national tag team champions. So we got that. They did tell us that. We also were told that Tully Blanchard was the new television champion. So that's the good thing we got out of it. And James J. Dillon sitting there looked like he was leaning up against the ring. I think he was going to try to take. The only thing I liked about it, Ron Bass talked the whole match. He talked during the whole match.
And very exciting. It was very exciting to the crowd as well.
Yeah, I mean that was the best parts of the match. Then Rodney, Paul Jones with Abdullah the Butcher.
Yeah, I'm loving Paul Jones. He is your classic manager. The people are yelling at him, and I love that he just kind of pauses, looks at him. Shut up! He's just awesome. He's talking about Abdullah the Butcher, talking about Jimmy Valiant. They ask him if, is this, have you done enough to Jimmy Valiant? No, I will not be having enough of Jimmy Valiant. I will not finish with Jimmy Valiant. He's just tremendous. And I always loved it because later on, they do the deal where if they shoot him on camera, he has a fit. Get that camera off me. And of course, the reason is because you never know when he's going to pull out a chain or some kind of foreign object and interfere in a match. I love that.
Yep.
He did say he was going to get rid of Jimmy Valiant permanently. And it's just the way he said it. It seemed like he meant what he was saying, permanently.
He was not, as far as he was not over the top. He was just exactly right. And in fact, I believe in this case, he was really even above James J. Dillon. And it's hard to be above Dillon, but I think Paul Jones was up there above him.
I have to ask a question here. We've watched, this is the fifth week, right? This is 5 weeks we've watched the World Championship Wrestling. Has James J. Dillon, hadn't he only done one interview?
He's done several with Buddy Landell that I remember. But yeah, he's done several with Buddy Landell.
Right, I'm getting old, so I may have just forgot him to do an interview, but I didn't remember doing it. All right, after the commercial, they go to a commercial, they come back. Jimmy Valiant, Jimmy Valiant out there. He cannot speak still,
but he brought his little board.
That's right.
Right up. So that was good. It got over. People reacted, and it just shows you how over Jimmy Valiant was. Is that he didn't have to say a word.
Yeah, he said I think what he said. I love you all, and we are the world. Hey, was that the year the "We Are the World" song came out?
I believe so.
Okay, so that was.
And the thing about it, you looked at Jimmy Valiant. He looked as good as he's ever looked. Yeah. I mean, the hair was just beautiful. He looked very healthy. Looked very healthy.
He's never happy though.
Never happy, no. But that's okay.
He's never happy. He's like watching a soap opera. He can't be happy. He's going to have something happen to him, so he's not happy. He goes against Randy Barber during this match. Jack, what did you think about this match?
I thought the match was pretty good. I like Jimmy. I always wanted to wrestle Jimmy because I always heard that if you didn't pay attention, you'd never know you're in the ring with him. So I wished I could have had that opportunity.
All right, Rodney, there's a lot of things that happened in this match.
Yeah, after the win by Jimmy Valiant, the elbow smash into the elbow drop. Then he goes right after Paul Jones. Paul Jones goes into the ring. Abdullah the Butcher comes in, and they double up. It's Paul Jones holding the legs while Abdullah's dropping the elbows on him, and they're doing that neck in. Finally, it's TA and Rocky King comes in there and cleans house with Abdullah and Paul Jones. But yeah, it was.
And don't forget them horrible looking.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to go with just the elbows. I was trying to.
The elbow was great. Let's just go with the elbow.
The elbow chop, not so good.
Pretty bad.
That's the reason they didn't come in close and shoot those.
And that would have been fine in an arena, but when the camera's right there on you, that was not.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Someone said somebody said in a review of World Championship Wrestling, they said that this is a quote that said, Randy Barber looks like he was in a transporter accident with Art Anderson and Buzz Sawyer. Oh, that's all right. Then Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone is with the Koloffs. Ivan and Nikita. I love this because Ivan Koloff got his letter out from a fan and read the letter and told everybody about how Dusty Rhodes was mistreating the Koloffs and how badly this was. This was tremendous. Did y'all like that? I thought it was tremendous.
It was good stuff.
You know what made it is Ivan is spectacular in the last 5 weeks on this television program.
Yeah, there's no doubt why he stayed on top as long as he did. He's great. It's absolutely fantastic.
And Nikita is continuously talking about Ric Flair, so they must be having Nikita Ric Flair matches in the arenas.
Yeah, that's the big match. And if you remember, it is Nikita against Ric Flair when the Andersons and Ric Flair take out Dusty. That comes from the Omni, and that's coming up. Going to be at the Starrcade coming up.
All right, after that, the NWA World Television Champion, Tully Blanchard with Baby Doll. Baby Doll looking very good in this video. I love the suit she had on.
Yep.
That was tremendous. Against
Dale Williams.
Jack.
Do you remember the infamous Raggedy Ann and Andy?
Yeah.
It was based on this guy because there was absolutely nothing that you could do with him.
Yeah. It was sheer strength from Tully Blanchard doing the slingshot suplex. He was not. He went all limp, and it was.
No.
It was Blanchard.
I think this guy got discombobulated putting his boots on.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But Tully had a pretty decent little match with him for what the guy could do.
It was Tully getting that character over in that match. It wasn't that, he was just constantly just beating the crap out of him. He just, he constantly, strutted and, showed that arrogance, and that was awesome.
And Baby Doll slapping that what's
right in front of the referee too. Woo! Right in front of the referee.
That was a good slap though.
Yeah, it was a good slap.
And then Tully turns around and slaps him again. It wasn't as good as Baby Doll slap.
No.
But Baby Doll, tremendous during this time.
Yeah.
And looked very good, by the way. There was no doubt she was the perfect 10 at that time. There's no doubt she was looking good.
Still does, by the way.
Tony Schiavone then interviews the National Tag Team Champions for the first time, Rodney, Ole and Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson.
Ole and Arn, great stuff with Ole yet again. Almost decided not to even talk about Thunderbolt Manny Fernandez, but then at the end he decided to kick them in and bring them back up again. But Ole, he said, if they want a chance at this, we'll give them a chance at it.
Yeah. It's like they're insignificant now. They beat them. They're not important. They don't matter anymore, which is what a heel should be talking about.
Did you see on the shirt what was on Ole Anderson's shirt? The Rock.
Oh yeah.
On his shirt, The Rock, the original Rock, Ole Anderson.
Do y'all remember his famous "Evil, Mean, and Nasty" T-shirt?
I don't know that I do.
Yeah, it's just evil, mean, and nasty. And then when Tony or whoever was interviewing him at the time said something about it, and he said, "Yeah, my family got this for me for Christmas." I thought that was pure Ole. It was awesome.
All right, folks. We thought the Ron Bass match went really, really long.
Slow.
I cooked 3 steaks 3 separate times during this next match between Black Bart and Kent Glover. Oh man, what did y'all think about this thing?
Again, it was like the other match I was saying. It would have been a great match for 2, 3, 4 minutes. But there was, he wasn't allowing Kent to have any kind of comebacks, really, anything of significance. And it's hard to have a long match from a fan perspective. It's hard to watch for that long a period of time. Now, I'm not faulting those guys because they were told to go out there and do it. But,
Well, I still, to this moment, do not know why Ron Bass was out there. I think that match was supposed to be shorter, and I think Ron Bass came out there and told him to go longer. That's the reason I think it went on, and it was painful. It was just totally painful to watch. I'm just happy I could fast forward.
At one point, the people started hollering boring.
They did. They sure did.
At one point, then Black Bart started talking all the way through the match as well. And I think he did the what does he call it, the Texas Compact or something that he does from the second.
I think so.
The second, I was glad to see that over. And then Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, comes out with some bananas. And does he show the gorilla at this point?
Yeah, this is where he goes over and pulls the drape off and gets Tony Schiavone to go over there and try to put the microphone in. Yeah, it was good. Yeah. It was good stuff.
That was good.
Yeah, and they tore his jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the jacket being tore.
You tore my jacket.
For those of you who might not have liked it, it was built for the Omni in Atlanta. There was going to be a mystery man, and the gorilla was the mystery man. Let me go through the card real quick so everybody can see what the card was for the Omni. It was going to be on Sunday, May 12th, 1985. And here's the card. The Barbarian against Sam Houston. Superstar Billy Graham against the Italian Stallion. Buzz Sawyer against Crusher Khrushchev. The U.S. champion Magnum Ta against John Tatum. Of all people. I don't understand. He's not even on the show. Tully Blanchard, the national heavyweight championship on the line against Ron Garvin. Jimmy Valiant against Abdullah the Butcher. Thunderbolt Patterson and Manny Fernandez against Ole and Arn Anderson for the national tag team championship. And then the NWA tag team champions, Ivan Nikita Koloff against Dusty Rhodes and a mystery partner, the Gorilla. So that gives you just kind of an idea of the card and why you saw some of the stuff that you saw on this television program. Good stuff. And it was getting ready for the Omni because, a lot of times when people were watching in Atlanta, they would see the Omni card coming up when they would tell you about the wrestling's coming to Columbus, Ohio. And they would actually, they did a local insert and it would just tell you the Omni card. And so all the people there, that whole TBS show was for the Omni most of the time. So people got to take that into account that was a local show there in Atlanta. But great stuff. And then Magnum Ta against the Golden Terror. I don't believe this was the same Golden Terror, was it?
No, it was a different one. I'm not sure who it was on this episode.
I think it was 24 seconds. Magnum Ta over with the belly-to-belly again. And then Shivani interviews Ron Bass with his black glove. What did y'all think about the interview, Ron Bass?
I'm with the people. I didn't want to hear it.
Jack, what did you think?
The disaster of earlier, I didn't want to hear it.
Well, now I like Ron Bass. I always liked him, but that match kind of overstayed his welcome for the show that day.
We've seen him enough in that one match. We just need to see him again.
All right, then we had the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Rodney Ric Flair against Rocky King, which Rocky King was looking fantastic in this match. I mean, he was in shape.
Yep, Flair in the beautiful green robe of Olivia Original right there for all to see. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful robe. And then, of course, at the end of that one, it's Flair winning with that, not with the figure four, it's the reversed figure four. It was the unorthodox figure four. It's kind of the reverse figure four, backwards. Did you not notice that?
I don't think I noticed it.
He's always done it reverse. It's never been done figure four style. It's always been in reverse.
Huh, I never noticed.
Gordon Sully pointed it out back way back 1977 or so when he was the United States champion coming to Atlanta that he has the unorthodox version of the figure four. It's in reverse.
Wow. We learn something new every day.
You don't check it out and see if you don't see what I'm saying.
We'll have to see that, folks. Go and watch a Ric Flair match. See if it's in reverse. Leave a comment and let us know that you actually went and watched that and let us know that you saw that because I'm going to go right after we finish this and I'm going to go see that for myself as well. Rodney gave us some history that I didn't even know.
No, so, I distinctly remember when Flair would come to Atlanta with the United States title, he would do it in reverse. It wasn't the figure four; it was the reverse figure four.
All right, Rodney. After that, Magnum Ta at the desk, and Ric Flair goes over there and says, "Why don't you just come on in here and let's go." Ta gets in the ring. Flair gets in the ring, starts like he's going to do something, and then gets out of the ring and goes to in Ric Flair fashion says, I don't want to. He's not ready for Ric Flair. He's not ready for that. I don't want to beat him right here on TBS. I'll just go ahead and give him this great Ric Flair stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
That made the show. That really made the show. That and Dusty Rhodes and his gorilla made the show during this time. Right after that, Jack Tully Blanchard and Baby Doc comes out and does an interview. I thought it was a good interview.
Yep.
You know, again, talking about Dusty Rhodes and that he would never be able to get that title back again. I thought that was a good interview.
Yeah, I did too.
And just for Baby Doc being out there, it was well worth it. Then we come back from the commercial. Dusty Rhodes is back with his bananas again, and he wants to name his gorilla.
Yeah, this is awesome. This was awesome. He said the fans wanted to name him. It's called it Baby Doll Number 2.
And that was the biggest pop that crowd had got the whole time. This whole show. It was when he said Baby Doll 2. So
Baby Doll Number 2.
It showed that Baby Doll had the most heat within the people. And then he lets the gorilla growl in the microphone, and he keeps on having some trouble. You notice he keeps on is he trying to push the mask down, or is he trying to scratch like a gorilla?
He's scratching, but he's also having to keep the head out. I think he's trying to fall.
Okay, I just noticed he kept on, and I'm thinking, what's he doing? Is he scratching, or is he trying to keep it from falling off? Great stuff, though. Great stuff. And then Ole and Arn Anderson against Gerald Finley. By the way, I believe this might be the fifth time Gerald Finley has wrestled against Ole and Arn on this show. Am I right about that?
That's been, I know, the second time for sure.
And our good friend Richard Dye is in this match.
Yeah.
Rodney?
Yeah, pretty decent match. Of course, it ends up, typical Andersons working the arm. Ole coming off the top rope into the arm bar with, of course, this time they're still trying to do that tag. The tag back to Arn to do the arm bar, that shouldn't have done that. Should have been off the top rope with Ole and then goes right into the arm bar, because it doesn't make any sense when they make the tag.
I wonder why they decide to do that. I wonder what there's probably a thought process in this.
I think Ole wanted to give Arn the win. That's what I think. I think he was.
And I guess Arn didn't want to come off the top with that knee. Then the Andersons, great interview with the Andersons. Ole was a great, and he could do an interview, because at the end of that interview he says, "Well, you know what? I may give you just one more chance, Manny Fernandez." Like wherever they're going to wrestle each other, that's going to be their only time they're ever going to get a championship match. Ole Anderson doing a great interview, getting you ready for the Omni on May 12th. Then Jack Pez Watley against Doug Vines.
Yeah, just a quick wrestling clinic. Just Pez knew his stuff, buddy.
Yeah, he did the running headbutt, and 1, 2, 3. Then Black Bart is back out there again. I thought we saw him enough. The 22 minutes that he was wrestled against whatever that guy's name was. I forget his name. We just talked about that.
I'm kind of wondering if some guys didn't get caught in traffic or something. I don't know. I just.
That
was Kent Glover.
Kent Glover, yes. I zoned out while he was talking. I'd seen him enough during that program, and that's not his fault. No, it's not his fault. He did what he was told to do, but I just zoned him out. And then Nikita Koloff with Ivan Koloff against Alan Martin, our good friend Alan Martin from Alabama.
Big Al.
Now I will tell you, it opens up, and Alan Martin is standing with his arms kind of on both sides of the ring, and he realizes he's on camera, so he stands.
We're on.
Yeah, he said, "Oh gosh, we're on." Well, I'm on camera, and you can see the fans when Nikita comes out. You can hear them go, "Oh." They were already feeling bad for Alan Martin. Did y'all notice that?
I think Alan Martin was feeling bad.
Poor old Allen, great wrestler, but boy, when he's standing next to Nikita Koloff, he looked like a little kid.
Yep.
He hits him with that Russian sickle, which is very, I have to give it. He didn't knock his head off or nothing. So I mean, he gave it really good. Well, then Ivan and Nikita Koloff doing an interview. They decide they're going to go over to the cage, Jack. When Ivan gets over there, he's talking, he's doing his little thing, and then the gorilla grabs a hold of his bandana and puts it in his mouth and eats it. They go all crazy and getting ready again for that Omni show on Sunday, May 12th. 1985. All in all, it was an all right show, except for the Black Bart, Ron Bass matches that went way too long. But other than that, I thought it was an okay show. How about you guys?
Yep, I agree.
All right, that's Saturday, May 4th, 1985 World Championship Wrestling episode. Don't miss the next episode as we'll go through World Championship Wrestling. The Gorilla returns, plus a whole lot more. I think Miss Gorilla may even show up on the next episode. All right, folks, let's now go to the insiders and see what they've got to say about this episode. And let's start out. Richard Hood is with us. Thank you, Richard. Glenn Allen Shelton, good evening. Good.
What a picture he's got.
Wait a minute. Now, did I miss something on his?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Linda Blair from The Exorcist on there. Yeah.
Lonnie Jordan, Gordon Soley, best announcer. We'll agree with that. Tony Schiavone wasn't a bad announcer.
No, Tony was pretty good.
Now, David Crockett, it was all right. He had his moments. He was good. Watch it. That's the only part I didn't like about.
I forgot to take a shot every time he said it. I would not have made tonight's show if I had. So.
Good evening from the mighty Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Love me from Fort Sill.
Christopher Hughes said the Braves sucked in the 80s. They started back winning in the 90s.
Yeah, that's probably true.
He says, but please.
I watched the one season when they won the World Series. That's the only time I've ever watched baseball in my entire life and not watched it since. So I knew it was sometime back in there.
There must be some bad situation with Christopher and the Braves. So we won't talk about. Don't talk about the Braves.
Yeah, they tanked last night, big time. It's the curse of Georgia sports.
Daniel Lang said, why didn't they change their video intro? They still had Orndorff, Morocco, and Stan Hansen on it. Back then it was an ordeal to change up. It wasn't just as easy as it is today. Yeah. A lot had to go through doing an opening back in those days. So I'd say they just didn't want to change it. I think they eventually do, though. I think eventually they do change that, but a lot had to go through. Plus, TBS would be the one that had to do it. So, Glenn Allen said Mid-South Tag Team National Belts.
They're all. He's meaning that we were talking about how they look dissimilar, and he's right. Mid-South Tag Team titles, the National Heavyweight Championship, the National Tag Team Belt, all look the same. That was wrong. They should have made sure those designs are all different instead of having one size fits all.
Glenn Allen Shelton said until '86 when they changed the U.S. belt.
Yeah, and it needed to be changed. And I love the old belt, the red one with the United States, on it with the states to the side. That was a beautiful belt.
The one that Mulligan, Flair.
The Sheik also had its own copy, but yeah.
Kevin Barkwell said, wonder how Dusty Rhodes talked Dick Slater into climbing into gorilla suit in June.
We're gonna draw some big money with this, baby. You just put this gorilla suit on, we will draw some money and an Omni, we get it, and I tell you.
I wondered if that was actually him in the suit this time, though.
Yeah, I'm not for sure. I don't know if it was him or not, but But now, let me tell you, Dick Slater did a lot of things in professional wrestling. He's wore a baby bonnet and put a baby bottle in his mouth many times during the baby bonnet matches that he had for wrestling too. He's also had "I'm the Turkey" on the back of him as a deal. So Dick Slater didn't mind doing anything. All he wanted was the payoff, and he knew those were going to be great payoffs. And he knew that the Omni show, he's on the main event, he was going to get a main event payoff. So I don't think he really cared. Dick Slater didn't care. He was there. He was very easy to deal with. I don't think anybody ever said he was hard to deal with. Christopher Hughes, why do so many people talk bad about number one Paul Jones? I thought he was very good. He got stuck in that Jimmy Valiant feud for years. Wrestlers talk later how that was punishment to get put in that feud. Manny Fernandez hated it.
I would say that Manny Fernandez hated most things. He is about one of the people that's one of my top 10 list that joins Kevin Sullivan. As far as I'm concerned, I would rather see Paul Jones any day than Manny Fernandez. Oh, did I? I need to go ahead and write that down. Apology for Manny Fernandez.
Jack, what do you think? I thought Paul Jones was good.
I always liked Paul Jones. Now, I do agree that he got stuck in that position for a long time, and nothing against Jimmy Valiant, nothing against anybody else there, but they should have branched him out into other things.
Yeah, because he did go against Jimmy Valiant, because didn't we even Shashkill Watley going against Jimmy Valiant?
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I thought
he turned. As a matter of fact, that was part of his turn, I believe, was on Jimmy Valiant.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stuart Kemp said 1985 was a hot time for WTBS, as was UWF.
Yeah.
UWF had a great show as far as television show, but we was there during the live events for a period of time, and not so good.
No,
not so good.
It was two different shows.
Yeah, it was bad. I remember we told Michael Hayes that one time. I think he got mad at us, but we were in Jackson, Mississippi, I believe. I think that's where it might have been in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I can't remember. It's been too many years ago, but I do remember. Glenn Allen said 6-man titles. Did they have titles for the 6-man, or did they have a trophy?
They had a trophy for the 6-man.
That's what I thought. Christopher Hughes says Baby Doll looked good anything, anywhere. Good in anything and anywhere. Yes, she was looking good during this time. And also, by the way, cooks a mean lasagna, doesn't she, right?
Awesome. Yeah, she knows how to do some good cooking.
Well, some good cooking. We went over there and eating while she was in Kansas City. Stuart Kemp, yes, it can. You need to re-educate people. There are pockets where people want to relive the times. Hence, why cons are always popular when it comes to old school wrestling. All right, maybe y'all understand that. I'm not sure I get that.
That was related to another question that was done. I think they were asking if a TV show like this would work today.
Oh,
and
okay.
what Stuart's saying is that, you have to re-educate the people. The thing about it is that you need to come on and say, this is not sports entertainment. That's the other shows. They've got that well taken care of in the other shows. You need to say, this is professional wrestling. Enjoy. And that's the way it would be done.
Glenn Allen said Baby Doll, she always creating Christopher. Christopher says, Brent got it bad for Baby Doll. Don't tell my wife. She's just in the other room. Jared Queen. Sorry, y'all got a pencil.
Lord, here we go. I'm down to my last cigar, too. I'm glad.
Well, Jared, I'm sorry. You'll be fine. Okay, Jared, who's the person, the masked man in the photograph there? Do you know, Jack?
I think that's him in his attire.
Oh, okay. All right. Christopher said, love Ron Bass, but that match with Black Bart was boring.
Yeah.
We'll censor ourselves on that one there.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Jeremy Travis said, I vividly remember Evil, Mean, and Nasty shirt early Anderson wore.
Yeah.
Kevin said, Kent Glover is a pharmacist now.
Yeah.
I don't know what Kent does. I haven't seen him in a few years. I believe he had a leg amputated. So his health has been pretty bad for a few years.
Well, it probably was that beating he got from Black Bart for 22 minutes.
Well, could have been.
I mean, man. Daniel Lang said Ole Russell is Rock Rogowski before he became Ole Anderson. Let's see. Jeremy Travis said Black Bart called his leg drop from the second row the Texas trash compactor. I knew it was something to that. I know he said it in his interview, but I was zoned out during that, and I was waiting for the gorilla to come back. I was waiting for that. So, Christopher said Mr. Harris is a good friend, a great guy. I love his Black Bart character, but sometimes he was long-winded and boring. I didn't say that, Rick. Christopher Hughes said that. I did not say that at all. I don't want to have to write down. I have to apologize to Rick Harris. So. Kevin said gorilla.
Gorilla.
Adrian Harper said Georgia Championship Wrestling was awesome. Yes, it was an awesome show. David By said, good evening, guys. Enjoy the show. Thank you so much. Shannon Kathleen Moore. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to you, Shannon. Thank you so much. Kevin Penley asked, did Buck Robley ever work Atlanta? Yes, he did. If you remember when was it him that went against Tommy Rich and on television? Wasn't that Buck Robley or was that Killer Tim Brooks?
Well, both of them did, but Buck Robley was there because he was wrestling Tommy Rich because he was booking at the time. So he was wrestling, and of course the situation when he got fired, the Freebirds left, and of course that was over. Bruiser Brody sticking a guy in a wheelchair and kicking him out of it, and TBS did not like that, and apparently they did some mighty threatening stuff about the situation with the wheelchair. Of course, I don't understand why it was ever shown, because that show was filmed earlier in the morning and then shown that night. It should have been edited out before even aired.
Well, back in those days, those Georgia Championship Wrestling shows were done about 10 o'clock in the morning, wasn't they? From about 10 to 12. Sometimes those shows could run a little long in between each hour. You would think it would ran together, but they didn't. Many a time I would fall asleep. Fell asleep one time in that same wheelchair that Bruiser Brody kicked the guy out of, and I rode off the set, one of the sets there for Motor Sports Illustrated. Woke myself up pretty fastly when I fell off this.
Motorsports. I forgot that guy's name now.
I can't remember his name.
Dave Despain. That was his name. Dave Despain with Motorsports this week. Yeah.
Yes, it was until Vince got GCW. Yeah, that's true. That was some bad. That was some bad television there. Christopher Hughes said, very surprised it wasn't George South against Rick, but Rocky King was awesome athlete, trained by Junkyard Dog. Jeremy Travis said, Gordon Soley always pointed out that Ric Flair put the figure 4 on the opposite leg.
See, I told you so.
All right. Well, we did. I don't think me and Jack said you was lying or not.
I see. And you should never question me and Jeremy. You should never question us. We know what we're talking about.
Was it Ric Flair or Austin Idol? Buddy Rogers said he taught them the figure 4. It's on a Florida show. It was probably, I'd say it was Flair that he taught that to. Maybe Austin Idol. Because did Austin work championship wrestling from Florida? Did he wrestle there?
He was Mike McCord was all over the place.
Yeah.
Because he was in Florida during the Mike McCord was in the airplane accident, and it was in Florida. So
that's true.
It's possible.
Christopher Hughes says, Buddy Rogers, remember the Battle of the Nature Boys? That was in Charlotte, right?
Yeah, that was great stuff. I saw the match, the 6-man tag match. It's on YouTube.
Daniel Lang said Disco Inferno tried the figure for once, but he had to pull out a diagram on how to put it on.
I remember that.
Oh, man. When Bob Gago got rid of the stakes, title of Central States, and others, I guess he's talking about because we talked about the championship. Gerald Finley was a great worker, in my opinion. Yes, he was. Never really got the push that he deserved, I don't think. Let's see. Christopher Hughes said Central States, I know was sold by Harley Race to WCW in 87. I don't think they did sell it. I don't think they ever bought it, did they? I know we were there in 1987, but I'm not for sure they ever paid for it.
It was a partnership or it was a relationship between Jimmy Crockett and Bob Geigel. But that fell apart soon after we left, and then they took it back over, and then I think they folded.
And I think they took all that talent and moved them to Florida.
Right.
And made some deal with Mike Graham. So,
and the reason these the state titles disappeared is because they were doing multiple states. So it was kind of strange to have the Missouri State Championship in Kansas or up in Iowa. So they decided to consolidate. It's kind of like, Mid-South had the Louisiana title and Mississippi title, and so they ended those as well.
Jeremy Travis still remember the slap junkyard dog gave Pez Watley to wake him up.
Yeah, I guess Buzz Sawyer.
And he said he did. Adrian Harper said against Buzz Sawyer. He said Nikita was awesome. He was awesome for a guy had just started. He really was very good. A good run. He said he was jacked here. Yes, he was. I'll let Jack answer this. Whatever happened to Mike Jackson?
He's still around. He's still doing shows. He's supposed to be on a show over in Rome here this weekend, I believe.
Kevin Mullins said if they got caught in traffic, they got fired. Show up or blow. Christopher said, guys, when are you going to do championship wrestling from Florida? We'll do a show on them.
Yep, we will.
There's just so many, 30-something territories back in the day. A lot of things to cover. Kevin said Mike was promoting here, but since the pandemic, I don't know. Mickey Mayfield said the other wrestlers were on 285 with Pascal Perez trying to make it to the stadium. Is why Black Bart wrestled 15 times. All right, let's see. Derek Lamont Boyd said his moment when Nikita clotheslined him. Alan Martin getting clotheslined. Chief Inspector Clouseau. Hello, guys. I just joined in late again. I will send Jack my fine. Yes, we always got to keep the Bill Watts fine. We've always got to take care of that. So I guess Buddy Landau had lost his job again here.
Not yet. It is coming, but no, we got some. He's not on the chopping block yet, but he's heading that way.
Mickey Mayfield said Paul Jones is a great wrestler. Don't know why he began managing. Because the Crockett's felt like he was there. I mean, I think the majority of the time he wrestled for the Crockett's.
Yes, and they were they were they liked Paul, and Paul worked for them as long as they owned it. As you notice, Paul Jones was always there. They were very loyal.
And Paul was not a young guy by this point either. So
no. And by the way, anytime you talk to Paul, he was going to try to sell you some Amway. So. Tried to sell me that many times when I would talk to him. Let's see, we're running out of time, so I'm gonna hit. Mickey Mayfield said Buck Roby was in some Buckhouse Stampedes. I don't know if I remember that. So I did not know that. Greg Hickey said Dusty Rhodes against Pac Song. Some good matches there, by the way. Here's another name. Whatever happened to Chick Donovan?
Still wrestling. Still looks great too.
Kevin asked, "What's in the Yeti tonight, Jack?"
Sprite.
Richard Hood said, guys, let's do a podcast on all South wrestling from 1972 to 1974. Yes, it is in the works. I've got a bunch of information on all South wrestling. So we'll once we get some of that stuff together, we'll definitely do a show on that. That was where our father worked for a long period of time until Jerry Jarrett came in to start booking for Georgia Championship Wrestling. So Daniel Lang said, if Larry Zbyszko can claim to be the AWA champion, can Mike Jackson still be the Alabama junior heavyweight champion?
He's still, well, he owns the belt, so yeah, he's still the champion.
Charles Bell Flower said, best surprise on TV was 1979 when Dusty Rhodes pulled the cover off the cage and it was Mad Dog Vachon.
Yeah.
And we'll do one more. Stuart Kemp said, that's why it's so good to have you guys relive the matches here. We as a whole need to re-educate finishers as they are called for that reason, not a stopgap. In a match, matches can be old school. I've seen them before all this COVID stuff, and it can be done again. It's like if you go to a movie, you may know what the deal is, but you allow yourself to fall into the story. It can take you places you've never dreamed. I agree with you, Stuart. It can be done, and it's just not. I just don't think nobody knows how to do it. So. Greg Hickey said he'd love to see the history of Ox Baker. Yeah, we will also.
Ox left us 2 years ago today.
Yeah, poor old Ox was something else. He was a funny man. No doubt he was a funny man in the dressing room. All right, guys, we're running out of time. Rodney, any final comments?
Like I said, I've enjoyed this, and it just heats up from here. We're just now getting started, and it only gets better.
Jack, final comments?
Just looking forward to next week. Y'all join us here.
All right, folks.
Chris Sticks asked if Jack Ward was one of the ding dongs.
I had a little bit to do with the ding dongs, but I was not a ding dong.
Richard Sartain was one of the guys, wasn't he?
Greg Evans and Richard Sartain.
I remember telling them, they said, well, they let us go. And I said, they should have turned you heel. And that was the craziest thing. People hated you. The ringing the bell would have got so much heat, but that was that box mentality. They didn't know where to go with it, but I would have turned them heels, and I think they would have drew you money as heels. No doubt about that. The old ding dongs and the hunchbacks was another great idea. And we shouldn't say that too loud because WWE or AEW will have some hunchbacks. So we got to be very quiet on that.
I dare them.
All right, folks, if you're watching this on Facebook, give us a like and share. And if you are watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. And by the way, I want everybody to know that when you subscribe to the channel, it's absolutely free. It's just like liking it on Facebook. You just go there, you hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and it'll let you know when we do actual videos that will only be on there. And there's a lot that we only do on there. Coming up soon, we did the Ric Flair, his first year, maybe even first half year of wrestling, and a lot of other videos. So it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Just hit that subscribe button and subscribe to our channel. Go to YouTube and do that right now. All right, folks. Thank you so much. We certainly do appreciate it. And we will see you on the next episode as we talk about World Championship Wrestling as things get they get a little crazier as World Championship Wrestling goes on, as the year goes on. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Old School Wrestling Review.